Barrel video. My name is Julian. Just a quick one to let you know about the Boutique Wine Fair. It is coming up on Saturday 10th of November from 1 till 5. It is a fair style event, so the entire back of the oak barrel will be opened up and you can walk around, drink wine, taste what you feel like tasting. Tickets are $35 or $25 for members. We've got over 20 different wineries confirmed so far, including a great champagne producer, French wine, Australian wine, organic wine, everything you can think of, including all the boys from the National Selection Theory will be there too. Naringa, Sutton Grange, all sorts of great stuff. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, we do recommend you jump on board. It is a limited event, but it should be a fantastic day and we highly recommend you come along and give it a try. That's it for me. See you soon. Thank you.